Hello, and happy Thursday. Okay, today I just came home and I said, I'm going to do something different today. You know how I always talk about being healthy. And of course, I'm going to be 68 and I have to tell you, by the grace of God, I am pretty healthy. There is high blood pressure in my family. And before I went whole food plant-based, I struggled. And it wasn't like I was put on medication. Of course, I'm a nurse practitioner, I know what to do. But my diet and my lifestyle, even though I thought I was doing the right thing, I worked, I walked, but my food choices weren't that great. And that's why I was keeping that weight on and I couldn't get rid of it. And, I was 117 pounds when I got married. And then within, I think 6 months, I had jumped to 125. And then with each child, I had 3 kids, I kind of kept a little bit of the weight on. And even with my daughter, between my second and my third, there were 9 years. And I see pictures of myself after she was like a toddler. I had gone back to myself. But lo and behold, Miss Menopause came knocking. And I wasn't paying attention because I was always, even when I was like, my best weight that I like was 135, 137. Even when I kind of looked thin because I used to be taller. I've lost a couple of inches along the way somewhere. But my body type was thin, I was not big. And then I started like in my 40s. And I go back and I look at some of my pictures, my face was swollen. And I must have been oblivious because I was like, oh, Maggie, you look horrible. Now I see it. But I wasn't paying attention to that. And it was the processed food and things that I was eating as a busy mom, trying to get convenience so I didn't kill myself. I remember what I used to feed these kids. Now I feel horrified. The Kool-Aid and the little pre-made pizza things and the Hot Pockets and all that. Right? So in my 50s, the weight started to creep up. And I was like, well, I'm not going to eat carb. I did the soup diet. I would lose a few pounds and I would gain it. I would lose it. I would gain it. It was like a struggle. And then fast forward, and of course most of my jobs were like behind the desk. I was a supervisor, I was a business owner, so I spent a lot of time at my desk. No bueno. So fast forward, when I got my restaurant, even though I was on my feet, but I wasn't sleeping, I wasn't eating well, right? And then the blood pressure started to kind of creep up a little bit. It's like, oh, let's do something about that. We cannot do that. But I remember before I went to the Peace Corps and I went to see this nurse practitioner, and my pressure was like 150 over something. My A1C was like 6.1. My lipids were crazy. And I tipped the scale 203. Listen, if ever you wanted a wake-up call, or I wanted a wake-up call, that was that day. And I said, okay, Maggie, that's it. There is no way in hell you're going to go down that path. Because I knew I had gone through menopause by that time. With the low estrogen, I knew it was not going to be a pretty sight. Because every time you kind of lose 10 pounds and then you gain 15, it does something to your psyche. You're like, you know what, forget it. You don't say forget it, you say something more colorful, right? Forget it, I'm just going to eat. And in my mind, I'm saying, I don't want to get to that point where I'm going to say F it and just keep eating. Because I like myself when I'm light. I like it when I can go up these steps. I like it when my clothes fit. I like it like 3 years ago when I took those pictures for my birthday. I love not being thin, but I like to be light. And the only way, so after I left that appointment, And she looked at me, she said, well, what are we going to do? I said, I know what to do. I said, hold off on the medication. I don't want medication. And I said, I know I need to kind of drastically change how I eat. And I remember, you know, sometimes I tell people everything you do starts here. It's a decision. And I said, I know what I'm going to do. So I came home and I cleaned my cupboards. And I said, the only way I can do this, and if I go full-blown whole food plant-based. I know I couldn't be vegan because I don't ascribe to the philosophy behind veganism, but I could be like a vegan sometime, but not like 100%, because, you know, if I'm starving and there is a piece of chicken, I'm going to eat it. So I can't be, you know, committing the cardinal sin and say you had some kind of meat. Whew, no bueno. Okay, so so I don't christen myself as being vegan. Vegetarian, I guess I'm vegetarian, but I'm not fully vegetarian because I understand the importance of having good protein. But anyway, so when I went full-blown whole food plant-based, that was after I had COVID and my lungs were acting up. First of all, not only did I need to eat well, but I needed to retrain my body because my lung capacity was shot. I remember going a few small little hill at Walmart and I thought I was going to pass out. I went into a tachycardia and I'm like, oh no. So I consciously went to the track every single day and made myself do it. And then I lost 40 pounds in like 90 days. I was like, okay, good. So all the time I was in South Africa, I struggled with the diet because I didn't like the kind of food they had. When I came back, I looked good. But I decided to kind of go and kind of dazzle into chicken and fish. And then I see that my weight is starting to creep up. And it's like, okay, now you need to go back to what you know to do. So I am back to being whole food plant-based. Once in a while, I can have some shrimp or some chicken sometimes, but I'm not doing anything else. So I want you to see what I'm going to put my, I think I'm going to put Michelle on and see if she's going to cooperate. Okay. So when you come to my home, and let's see over here on this counter here, see what you see, this is like sugar that I haven't used. And because I haven't used it, you see how it's crystallized? Because I don't eat, you know, white sugar. But if I have, like I'm doing a recipe for someone, I might, so that's that. Then I have a thing of dry spices, right? And then I love tea, so I have tea, lots of green tea. You know, green tea is good for you. And then I have hibiscus flower. I just got another bag today. And then I have brown sugar. Brown sugar because, sis here, you know, I told you I try to get that coffee black, and I can't. So, you know what? I'm old. I'm allowed to have one vice, and that's my coffee. So, and then here, if we open this cupboard, all right, now, see, you have to, that's why sometimes I don't like Michelle. Michelle does not follow orders. All right. Go to bed, Michelle. All right, my cupboard here. Now, this kitchen doesn't have, what do you call that? A pantry. We don't have pantry. I mean, I don't have a pantry. I don't know if other people do or not. But, so I have these cabinets. I put my dishes and stuff, and this is underneath my sink. And then this cabinet under there, I'll just kind of dishes, and I have my smoothie stuff there. And then up here, it's just, you know, little place for some glasses, and then more dishes, right? And then over here, I put my my greens, right? So, you know how when you had kids, you used to have certain things on hand, like peanut butter and jelly. I used to have Chef Boyardee. No Chef Boyardee for me here. But I have greens here. So in my kitchen, and I have like some pasta. I don't know why, because this is like emergency food. You should always have some emergency food in case something happens. So I have all kinds of beans in here, right? So if maybe, a hurricane or something, I can feed myself. I make sure I have quinoa. I love quinoa. I have white, red, and I think I have some black ones that I bought this week. Yes. I have to make sure it says quinoa because sometimes I buy it and then I come home, it's chia seeds. That's happened to me before. And I have garbanzo beans. So I have all kinds of beans. And today I bought some slivered almonds. Almonds are good for you because I went to Ray this morning and we're going to be making a quinoa and kale salad this Sunday, and slivered almonds are the best. All right? So I have that. Now, over here, I have my olive oil. I started watching this doctor. I think she's a doctor or maybe she's a nutritionist. She is focused on diabetes and managing it, and she was talking about the oil. She said that you need fat if you or pre-diabetic or diabetic. You need fat, you need protein, you need veggies. So she said you eat in that order. Protein, fat, vegetables, fruit, and carbs in that order. So the least amount of carb you eat is the best. And I think I'm there, right? So I have my oil, and of course I have my sea salt. People are like, oh, this sister said she uses Himalayan salt. And I'm like, why? She couldn't tell me why. I don't know. If it's super expensive, I'm not buying it. You know how I go. So, but sea salt, and remember, it's not salt that, unless you're eating a very high amount of salt and you're eating a lot of cans and packaged goods, right? Foods. But a little bit of salt is good for you, for your brain, to keep the volume of your fluids going, okay? So don't go crazy. And that's what happens with older people. And I wanted to say this today. As you get older, you don't have as much reserve as you used to. You know how something could be festering for a while and then you just ignore it until it gets to the point that it poof, blows in your face. But as an older person, you don't have that, you don't have the luxury of things taking forever to show up. No, because you don't have the reserve anymore. That's why things, a least amount of change, magnifies, right? So that's why you have to really be in tune with your body. And if you have a high amount of this or that, then it can affect you rather quickly. But don't think that it's a little bit of salt is going to make you, you have to go to confession. I hear people, well, I'm no fat, no salt, no sugar, no. I'm like, what are you eating? Cardboard? Paper? Come on. Food is something to be enjoyed. And you see how I cook. I tell you, when I look at my food, I'm salivating and I enjoy it. And this is what food should be. So, okay, so this video is not for the people who don't want to cook ever. So, I'm sorry. This is not for you. And I'm not trying to shame you. You're not going to allow me to shame you anyway because you said, I'm retired. I'm not cooking. Respect, sis. Respect, okay? I just happen to be a crazy person who loves to cook. But if you say, I want to eat healthy, this is what this video is here to show you. Green tea, brown sugar sparingly, no white sugar. Remember the 5 whites you need to stay away from. White sugar, white flour, white bread, salt. And I say stay away. I just explained to you, a little bit goes a long way. Oh, what's the other one? It was 5. I said salt, right? Salt, sugar, flour, bread. There's another one. It'll come to me. All right? So you got to think about that. And if you want to embrace a healthy lifestyle. If your doctor says you need to cut this, cut that, just go ahead and start the whole thing. Go into your cupboard, all your little bags of chips and pretzels, throw them away. You don't need that. Anything that is prepackaged is not good. Now, the only thing I allow myself, I like sardines. Sardines are good for you, good omega-3, and you get a bit of protein in there. But I usually throw away the oil. I don't need that. Okay, this one has hot peppers, of course. I'm a hottie. And then last week I was making a recipe, and I cooked these black beans until it must have been 4 hours, and I'm like, that is crazy. So I said, from now on, I'm getting black beans in a can, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to rinse them real good, because that liquid in there is probably where they have the junk. So I'm going to rinse it. And I don't eat black beans that much. I have more lentil and garbanzo beans I love. And this past week, I cooked black-eyed peas, and I like it. Yes. And those I like to have when I'm cooking for people, but I don't usually do a lot of these things. And also, I think my friend Greta said 5 bean salad. I can't do too much beans. It just, you know what happens. It's like a no bueno. So I have to do it a little bit. Now, black-eyed peas didn't bother me, and garbanzo bean doesn't bother me. So those I can stick to, but the rest of them I have to kind of, yeah. All right. So you got your salt. Now let's look at the spice cabinet. My spice cabinet, I'm looking for, if I could find, one of those, people have the drawer, the fancy drawers, but I don't have that, and I'm not looking for that. But I will have these, okay, that is my weakness. This is what I put in my coffee when I have coffee. So because I cannot do coffee black, I decided, okay, I'm just going to cut down on it. So 2 to 3 times a week, I put a teaspoon of brown sugar and a little bit of evaporated milk. Hey, I'm Caribbean. We use that. So I always have that. And this is my Durian coffee. And yes, it is instant. Too much time cleaning coffee pot and all that. Cinnamon, we always use that. And I was looking for the cornstarch, and I see this, it says cornstarch. Oh, I've seen that, maizena. So I have that. I have some honey. I bought olives today because of what I'm cooking on Sunday. And again, you drain the liquid, rinse it real good, right? I always have plenty of turmeric because I love turmeric. Dry herbs, don't worry about it. Goya, I like Goya because it doesn't, oh, this is a Goya thing. I'm trying to stay away from this brand, but adobo is from Goya. Shoot. But it does not have MSG, and that's the only reason I use it. So maybe I need to try to find a replacement. And then I was able to find some fresh peppercorn with sea salt. Hey! Pimienta y sal. So this is nice. And it's a nice grinder. And I have all my thing, what do you call these? I got pimiento, I got peppercorn, I got anise, star anise, sometimes you need that. And here they use what they call achiote. Achiote is, I think it's a seed from a plant, but it's like a pinkish color. And this is like poor people saffron, right? So if you want, some people here in Panama, they cook rice and they use a lot of achiote. I bought it, but I don't know if I use it once or not, but I'm not into that much. Okay, so in my spice cabinet, I'm gonna have the adobo, paprika, I have turmeric, I have cumin, I have curry powder, right? And salt and pepper, grind, nothing, that's something that's been molito, in the past, ground, no bueno. This sister left something here and I have not even touched it. It says garlic and pepper. I use fresh garlic, so I haven't used it. And also, clavito de olor. That's cloves. Cloves are really good. So if you're making tea, you can use clove in there with cinnamon. I was looking for a cinnamon like this, but I haven't been able to find that here. So this is how it comes. So I do have cinnamon sticks. When I make the hibiscus tea, we call it saril. So when you take the hibiscus flower, you put it in a pan, put like an orange peel or lime peel, put a cinnamon stick, put some fresh ginger and some cloves or star anise, and then drain it. The only thing I don't like about that is that you have to put sugar. So what I do, I put it in a pan, in a bottle, and then I use these as a base for my smoothies, right? Okay. So smoothies, you got to be careful because remember, fruit, you need more veggies than you need fruit because fruits are natural sugars. They have sugar. So you have to be careful. I bought some pears today. But I want to show you, in my freezer, I don't have any, I have like, I have edamame and I have green peas. And then it's like frozen veggies, so I don't have anything in my fridge. Or like if I make something and I have extras, this is ratatouille. That's been frozen. So if I get to a point I'm really hungry and there's nothing to eat, then I will take that out and cook it. Alright, so this is where it gets interesting. Okay, so you always want to have plenty of vinegar. I have some sriracha. I have some dark soy, that very sparingly that I use. I have sesame oil, which I love, a little bit. And then I have Worcestershire sauce, okay? Now this is oyster sauce. I don't cook a lot of Asian dishes, but if I'm doing a stir fry, I would put some oyster sauce. But I'm excited to show you the fridge because show me what your fridge looks like and I'll tell you the kind of eater you are, okay? If you are really committed to eating well. All right. So when you, now don't look at my fridge and say, oh, she doesn't organize it well. I'm not a good organizer. And a lot of things that I open, I clip them and then I put them here, because for a while there I was having little ants, we have some issues here with little ants. Oh, my other apartment, they were all over. It was terrible. So I don't leave anything open that would force them to, so I have these apples, they're still in the fridge, and I was trying to figure out what to do with them. I love to have the grainy mustard, and I also have Dijon and regular yellow mustard, okay? I have capers, because when you are making a salad, it's good to have capers, okay? And olives. Olives are up there. I have ginger, fresh ginger. I have a little bag of leftover sugar because, around the holidays I was cooking. Let's see. I think Maria or somebody gave me the spice. Amchur powder. Dehydrated unripe mango. I have not used that yet. All right. And I always make sure I have fresh butter. This is unsalted New Zealand butter. That's the only brand that I use. They have a local brand here, I don't like it. And of course you have to have wine, right? I have wine. I bought me a new tumbler yesterday. This is my pineapple water for my smoothies. And when I make the hibiscus tea, I mix it. All right. And more wine. And Prosecco. Now, I bought some milk. I don't usually drink milk because as you get older, you want to kind of go down on the dairy stuff. So no cheese in my fridge, right? But if you like cheese, just eat it sparingly. And leftover rice is over here, in a bag. And I have some oats. This is leftover from the sister who left. Ketchup is not something I eat because sugar, no bueno. All right. So up here, let's look at on this. So yesterday I went to Super 99 and they were having some egg. It's like 20 eggs. It was $3.57. Good price. And look at that. This is leftover bero, which is watercress. I have okra, right? So if somebody is looking at my fridge, they're going to tell, oh, this girl loves veggies. And here I have fresh tomillo, basil. It should go in here because that's where I keep my fresh herbs. And also on top of the eggs, I found 1 bag of kale today. So we're gonna have kale salad, all right? So eggs, I don't eat them every day. I don't eat breakfast, first of all. So if I'm hungry, like around lunch or later on, I'll crack a couple of eggs and then I'll cut some tomatoes, or if I have some ratatouille, I'll put it on there and that's what I eat. And I have an avocado that I cut up this morning. That was my breakfast, a couple of slices of avocado. Which I don't eat breakfast, but I just felt like it. And today, I went to Ray and I was able to find a beautiful cauliflower. I don't know how much I paid for it. I haven't looked at the thing yet because I'm like, ¿cuánto cuesta? She's like, oh, it's per unit, unido. And so, but anyway, it was still cheaper than what I would pay for it at Reba Smith. Now, this is the leftover from broccoli that I used to make stock. I have some wheat germ here that I bought when I was making granola. So that's in here. And then I have some organic maple syrup. Not that I'm going to eat it, but it's here in case I need to make more granola. Right? And I love granola, but it does have a fair amount of fat, so you have to be careful. All right, more avocado, which is usually when I order from these, this company that delivers, I get 3. And let's see what's back there. We had a party here and somebody had brought some dill pickles, so they're still here. Not that I'm going to eat them. This is where I make my salad dressings and I put them here. And I have some couscous back here. And I have some plain Italian breadcrumbs, which I use very, very rarely. You know, when I use Italian breadcrumbs when I'm making veggie balls. Yes. Okay, so in my fresh herb drawer, tomillo, thyme. I bought some fresh lime today because I was like, I'm tired of whatever they have there. I bought some fresh rosemary. I got some leftover cherry tomatoes. I don't have too many tomatoes because it tends to aggravate your arthritis, which I don't have, but I don't want anything to aggravate. I have some more tomillo because whenever I don't have time here, I feel some kind of way. Hot peppers. I eat chumbo, which is, people say they're Scotch bonnet. I don't know about that, but they are a little hot. And I have some cilantro. And back here are some chilies that I bought way back when. So very few recipes will I use that. So it stays here. It's just there, just in case. Hot peppers. Yes. So this is what I use to flavor my food. You see, you didn't see better than bouillon. You didn't see Maggie's. And I tell you, I could be watching a nice video of someone cooking, and the moment they start spraying their little thing, I just click off because I don't use that stuff. All right. So, and then I kind of run out of space to put this in the drawer. So that's where the cauliflower is up here. All right. So yesterday I cooked a papaya. So I got papaya I can snack on, or I can make a smoothie. My water jug, I have this pitch, I found it here. So I boil water every, almost every day. And I'll show you later. I did buy a thing of brown sugar, and it's in here. Oh, I actually could put this one back here. This is not open. If anything that's open, I kind of clip them up here. And then I have the grits that my sister bought me, so I'm very grateful for that. But not that I'm going to eat it myself, but sometimes if I'm really hungry, I'll break down and have some of it. Put like some green peas or edamame, and then that would be it. And I have some milk that I bought. First of all, today I thought I was going to make some corn muffin for the guys downstairs, but I couldn't find the corn that I needed at Ray. It was all very fine, and I needed the one, let's see, I have a little bit of it here, with a little bit of, a little body to it, yes. I needed this one where you see the corn and you could see it has a little body to it. But when it's like powdery fine, that's no bueno. That's not what I want. Oh, look at that. I still have some garbanzo bean here and some quinoa. So I need to remember that and use those first. Okay, so I have some corn, I have some milk because I've started doing the gold milk that they say you can have some, like maybe 4 ounces with turmeric, and then you drink it. It's supposed to reduce inflammation and get rid of your bloating, because I struggle with bloating. Now, you see, more stuff. Listen, I'm telling you, when you say you want to eat healthy, your kitchen should tell people what you have. Okay, here I have zucchini. I have red cabbage. I have peppers, all colors, pimientos. That's another zucchini. So I have plenty of zucchini. I have carrots. I have radishes. And more cabbage. And green onions. Oh, I need to use those fast before they go bad. Green onions, okay? And some of these small lime that I thought they were lime, but they have seeds in them, so that's why I went and got some regular lime. And I heard this guy say this week, don't eat watermelon without seeds. All right? And I bought some aubergine, berenjena, eggplant. And oh, look at my chayote. They're going bad. Oh, chayote and remolacha, beets. So I have beets. So when you say you are going to change how you eat, your kitchen must reflect that. And it becomes a lifestyle. It's not something that you think about, you do it once in a while. And I'm always thinking, what can I do with chickpeas and veggies? I do I make curries, and I cook the beans, and I could put some quinoa once in a while because, quinoa is still carbs. So it's a mindset. So you don't go to the store and you start reaching for the prepackaged stuff, can this, can that. No, that is a no bueno for you. Cinnamon, make some smoothies, right? And get some fruit. Like if I have a little bit of honey. Sometimes if I'm making a dressing, I might want to put a bit of honey, but I don't like sweet stuff. So if you put some fruit in your smoothie and then you have all the rest of it, make sure you choose the right base. Water, coconut water. Again, buy it in a can, what's in it. So I buy the fresh one and I drain it and I get like that. So I make the pineapple water, or I make the sorrel tea, and I use that as a base. but the fruit is going to sweeten the smoothie. So you don't need to add sugar. So it's a mindset, sis. So you are in, wherever you are, I hope you are in a place where you have choices. And it takes time to build your spice rack, your pantry. You start with the things that you love. But the things that you need to eliminate would be things like sodas, fruit juices, too much sugar. Stick to water, green tea. You know, I can drink hot tea unsweetened, no problem. It's the coffee. But some mornings here, I need a cup of coffee to just, whoo. Like this morning, I woke up at 5:35, went to the bathroom, couldn't go back to sleep. And I'm like, you know, and a couple of times I woke up at 9 and 10, I'm like, oh, this is good. But my body, you know, maybe tomorrow is Saturday. No, tomorrow's Friday. No, tomorrow I have to get up and do the workout. But anyway, this is my kitchen. So wherever I go, I always think of, like, I have to have some fruit. I love pineapples. I love papaya. Those are my base. And then sometimes I love these pears, and they're not very sweet, right? And apples are good, so you can have an apple a day. Keeps the doctor away. Remember that. And apples are very healthy. I love watermelon, but to me, it's a little too sweet. And when I start eating it, I can't stop, so I just don't. And because I'm trying to get back to the way I was, so I've given up, you know, I'm giving up bread, you know, the croissants and nuts once in a while. But the protein, I need to really be careful about that, because as an older person, you need protein to keep your muscles strong. So don't give up on the protein. And when you become whole food plant-based, it's challenging to get enough protein. So that's why, you know, I eat fish maybe once or twice a week. I haven't had fish this week. And it's Thursday. Oh, but I've had sardine. Okay, I'm good. So I always have to go back and say, what have I had? So remember, protein, veggies. You can OD on the veggies. Now, you know, don't just eat beets every day, because beets got a certain amount of sugar in it. But, you know, your carrots, your green leafy vegetables, you know, your pimientos, your peppers. Avocado is naturally, it's got a good amount of fat, but it's good fat, right? And making your dressings, olive oil, lime juice, salt, pepper, dry herb, a little mustard, shake it, and put it on your dressing. Don't buy things in the can, in the bottle. No, bueno. All right, so I wanted to show you my, you know, this is where people talk about the magic. This is where it happens, right? I keep thinking, like today I'm like, okay, if I want to do a quinoa salad, I had white quinoa, black quinoa. I didn't have red quinoa. I was waiting to see if it was going to come on sale, but it wasn't. So I just grabbed like a little thing, maybe a pound for $4 something. But quinoa tends to be expensive. So I have quinoa. I'm going to rinse the black beans. And I have peppers. I have cherry tomatoes. Oh, and I bought, and over here, I forgot to show you, down here, down here is where I keep my my garlic and my potatoes. And I'm not really a potato person because that is starch. But for this recipe that I'm making Sunday, I think I'm going to slice them really thin, and then make that turmeric dusted potatoes and kind of layer them and put them on at the bottom of the plate, and then put the salad in the middle. My mind works like that. I get so excited. So I always have garlic, and then I always have onions. You know, I have white and I have red. So if I'm making any kind of salad, sometimes I'll just put the red onions, and that's usually really, really good. Herb oil, you know, I make that. You can learn to make that too. But anyway, so this is what I thought I would share with you today, so that if you make a decision to cook for yourself, You can start simply. So we're doing salad for June. For July, my birth month, we're just going to go with simple meal for singles. How about that? Simple singles. Yeah. You see how things come to me? Simple singles. I don't know. It doesn't sound that good. But I mean, you guys are so good. You'll tell me what to call it. We're going to do some simple meals. I know Greta always wants me to make one pot. But yeah, you can make one pot, especially with whole food plant-based, with the grains, easy. When you do like a curry it's not really one pot because you got to do the curry separately. Yeah, I struggle with the one pot, but I'll try to do something like that. But just not one pot, but just simple meals, to do like some chicken legs with something so that you could eat it for yourself, not worry about other people. But anyway, so I have avocado, I have olives, capers, potatoes. Ooh, that's gonna be so good. And then you put all that, and kale, and the green peppers, and the quinoa. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a kale quinoa salad for Sunday. All right? All right, it's already 41 minutes. I'm going to let you go, but I hope you enjoy seeing my fridge, my cupboards, and how, it's nothing simple. Complicated. I'm here. It's just me just thinking about things and how I can be creative in my kitchen while keeping myself healthy. All right, lots of water, green tea, fruit juices, sodas, anything in a bag, throw it away. All right. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. I love my share. Bye.